Okay, we're all set.
Okay, thank you, Pat.
Sure.
Can everyone hear me okay? This is Bagat Samakia. I'm chair of NY38. I would like to welcome the directors to the meeting. Due to public health concerns, this meeting is being held via teleconference as authorized by executive order of the governor. The webcast is available for members of the public to listen to the meeting, and we welcome those of you who are listening to the meeting via webcast. At this point, I'd like to request everyone to mute their phones when they're not speaking to minimize background noise. Also, please identify yourself when you are speaking and making a motion. For voting, we will call out each director's name for their vote so we can accurately record the vote. I will now do a roll call of the participants in today's meeting, and I would like to start with the directors. Michael Abbott. Present. Christine Chung.
Present.
Michael Frame.
Present.
Franklin Heck.
Present.
Dr. Mangling South.
Present.
Brad Johnson.
Present.
Joan McDonald.
Present.
Kristen Proud.
Present.
And Kenneth Tompkins.
Present.
I will now do a roll call of our member designees. Kevin Eunice, Chief Operating Officer of Empire State Development, who is the designee of the Chief Executive Officer of Empire State Development. And Dr. Todd Larson, Senior Vice Chancellor and Provost of the State University of New York, who is the designee of the Chancellor of the State University of New York.
Present.
Thank you. I will do a roll call of the officers who are participating in the meeting. Dr. Douglas Gross. Present. Patricia Arciero-Craig.
Present.
Paul Kelly.
Present.
Todd Bateman.
Present.
Timothy Taylor.
Present.
And Patricia Buckler.
Present.
I will now ask the directors if anyone has potential conflict of interest with respect to the items on today's agenda. If so, please make an appropriate disclosure on the record now and recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to this item. I would like to request a motion to approve the minutes of the NY38 meeting of June 25, 2020.
This is Franklin. Make the motion.
Thank you.
And Mangling will second. Mangling will second.
Thank you. And now I would like to ask if there are any corrections or points of discussion. If not, I would like to ask each director for their votes. Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Christine Chung.
Aye.
Michael Frame.
Aye.
Franklin Heck.
Aye.
Dr. Mangling South.
Aye.
Brad Johnson. Joan McDonald.
Aye.
Kristen Proud.
Aye.
Kenneth Tompkins.
Aye.
And I would like to vote yes as well. The minutes are approved. I would now like to introduce Michael Abbott, Chair of the Audit Committee, for the Audit Committee report.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask for to consider and adopt a resolution approving the FRMC tax filing.
So moved. It's Kristen.
Second, please.
Second. Ken.
Thank you. By way of background, Fuller Road Management Corporation used KPMG to review its tax filings for the year ending on June 30th, 2019, pursuant to authorization by the board at its September 26, 2018 meeting. The filings include the IRS Form 990, Yorkshire 500. KPMG has now completed its review of FRM's filing and draft tax filings were provided to you in advance of this meeting. The FRMC Audit Committee approved the resolution describing the memorandum provided to you in advance of the meeting, including recommending that the board approve the same action. The action requested is to approve a resolution, 1, approving the tax filing subject to and conditional upon the remaining administrative items, if any, to the satisfaction of the chair of the Audit Committee. 2, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation to execute and now deliver the aforesaid tax filings with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve. The execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval. And 3, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation to take such acts as necessary and appropriate, including the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements, as may be necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intents of the resolution. Is there any discussion of the matter? Hearing none, I will now ask each director for the vote on the motion. Christine?
Excuse me, aye.
Michael Frame?
Aye.
Franklin?
Aye.
Dr. Mingley?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
Joan?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
Dr. Bagat?
Yes.
Kenneth?
Aye.
And I'd like to record my vote in the affirmative aye as well. The ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Thank you. The second item we have is the tax filings for FSMC. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider and adopt the resolution approving the FSMC tax filings.
So moved,
This is
Kristen.
Joan. I'll move. And I'll second.
Thank you. By way of background, Fort Schuyler Management Corporation engaged KPMG to review its tax filing for the year ending on June 30, 2019, pursuant to authorization by the board at its September 26, 2018 board meeting. The filings include the IRS Form 990, the New York Chart 500, and an amended IRS Form 990 for the preceding year ending June 30, 2018. The deadline for filing the original form for the year ending June 30, 2018 was prior to the finalization and issuance of that year's audit. The amendment updates the filings to conform to the audit. KPMG has now completed its review of FSMC's tax filing and draft tax filings were provided in advance of the meeting. The FSMC Audit Committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum provided to you in advance of the meeting, recommending that the board approve the same action. The action we're asking today is approve a resolution, 1, approving the tax filing subject to and conditional upon completion of the remaining administrative items, if any, to the satisfaction of the chair of the audit committee. 2, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid tax filing with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve. The execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval. And 3, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation to take such actions as are necessary and appropriate, including the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements, as may be necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intent of the resolution. Is there any discussion of this matter? Okay, I will now ask each director for the vote on the motion. Christine?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Franklin?
Aye.
Dr. Mengley?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
Joan?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
Dr. Bagat?
Yes.
Ben?
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative as well. With that, the resolution is passed. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to you, Chair.
Thank you. I would now like to introduce Kristen Proud to give the Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Dr. Samakia. First item from the Finance Committee today is a lease with Albany College of Pharmacy. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider and approve the lease.
So moved, Ken.
Second, Christine. Thank you both. So the Albany College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences has campuses in Albany and Colchester, Vermont, and it is seeking to locate its Center for Biopharmaceutical Education and Training at the Albany Nanotech campus. The College of Pharmacy seeks to lease space in the NanoFab East building, including 1,749 square feet of lab space and 2,032 square feet of office space. The term of the lease is from August 1, 2020 through July 31st, 2025, with an option to extend for 2 additional 12-month terms. The rent is $28 per square foot for the lab space and $23 per square foot for the office space plus parking. The rent includes operating expenses and utilities. Rent will increase by 2% annually. The college is also seeking to enter into a collaboration with SUNY Polytechnic Institute. The Finance Committee met last week and approved the resolution described in the memorandum that was provided to you in advance of this meeting, and recommends that the board approve the same actions. So the actions requested this morning are to approve a resolution 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease with the Albany College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences on the terms stated above. 2, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval. And 3, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation to take such actions as are necessary and appropriate, including the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements as may be necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intents of the resolution. So at this time, I'll pause and ask if there are any questions or comments from any of the board members. Okay, hearing none, then we'll move on, and I'll ask each director for his or her vote on this motion, starting with Michael Abbott.
Aye.
Christine Chung.
Aye.
Michael Frame.
Aye.
Franklin Hecht.
Aye.
Dr. Mengling Chao.
Aye.
Brad Johnson.
Aye.
Joan McDonald.
Aye.
Dr. Samakia.
Aye.
Ken Tompkins.
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. So the ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The second item on the agenda today is the lease with the West Firm PLLC. I'd like to ask for a motion to consider and approve the lease.
This is Joan, so moved.
Thank you, Joan. Second?
I was second.
Franklin. Thank you. So the West Firm is seeking to lease 1,938 square feet of space at the Kiernan Plaza in Albany, consisting of 4 offices, hallway closets, a kitchenette, and an anteroom. The lease term would be 5 years with an option to extend for 2 additional 12-month terms. The rent would be $19 per square foot with 2% annual escalation. The rent includes operating expenses and utilities. Rent payments would commence upon completion of fit-up work. FRMC will be responsible for certain fit-up work, and West will pay $500 per month during the term of the lease toward FRMC's fit-up expenses. FRMC's share of the fit-up cost is estimated at approximately $50,000. The Finance Committee approved this resolution described in the memorandum provided to you in advance of this meeting including recommendation that the board approve these same actions. So the actions being requested are to approve a resolution: 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease with the West Firm PLLC on the terms stated above. 2, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval. And 3, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to take such actions as are necessary and appropriate, including the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements as may be necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intents of this resolution. Are there any questions or comments about the resolution? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the vote. Michael?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
Michael Frame?
Aye.
Franklin?
Aye.
Ming Ling?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
Joan?
Aye.
Dr. Samakia?
Aye.
Ken Tompkins?
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. So the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. The next item on the agenda is a lease amendment with Central Control Systems, Inc. I'd like to have a motion to consider and approve this lease amendment. So moved by
Ken.
Ming Ling.
I'll
A
do second.
Thank you, Ken. So General Control Systems, Inc. provides various instrumentation and control engineering services to the semiconductor industry. It has leased 433 square feet in the CSTEM building since May of 2012 and seeks to extend its lease for 2 years. The tenant will pay $45.44 per square foot, including utilities and operating expenses, plus parking fees. At its meeting last week, the Finance Committee approved the resolution described in the memorandum that was given to you in advance of this meeting and made the recommendation that the board consider and approve these same actions today. The action requested is 1, approving and authorizing the corporation to enter into a lease amendment with General Control Systems, Inc. on the terms stated above. 2, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the aforesaid lease amendment with such changes, variations, omissions, and insertions as the officer of the corporation signing same shall approve, the execution thereof by such officer to constitute conclusive evidence of such approval. And 3, approving and authorizing the president and treasurer, each of them without the other, on behalf of the corporation, to take such actions as are necessary and appropriate, including the execution, acknowledgement, and delivery of other documents and agreements as may be necessary or appropriate to implement and carry out the purposes and intents of the resolution. At this time, I'll pause to ask if there are any questions or comments from any of the board members. Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the vote. Michael Abbott?
Aye.
Christine Chung?
Aye.
Michael Frame?
Aye.
Franklin Heck? Dr. Mengling Chow?
Aye.
Brad Johnson?
Aye.
Joan McDonald?
Aye.
Dr. Samakia?
Aye.
Ken Tompkins?
Aye.
And I would also like to be recorded in the affirmative. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. At this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. Samakia.
Thank you, Kristen. So I'd like to ask if anyone has any new business today.
This is Doug Gross. I'd like to provide a statement on behalf of the New York Creates, please.
Yes, please go ahead, Doug.
Okay. As we reflect upon the events of the recent months and what's going on in the world around us. And as a team, we're looking forward into the second half of 2020. We're reminded of the critical importance of respecting others, valuing our differences, and ensuring equal justice for all. And then I wanted to take this opportunity to speak on behalf of New York Creates about these fundamental principles. Our personal characteristics and diversity are what make us strong. And as an organization, we're committed to working as a unified team that fosters a diverse and inclusive environment in which everyone is respected. These principles are part of the core values of New York Creates, and I'd like to let the board know that I've called upon all of our employees to join with me in ensuring that New York Creates abides by these important principles and does not tolerate any form of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation in our organization. Thank you, Bhagat.
Thank you, Doug. I wholeheartedly embrace everything you just said, and I'd like to comment that just about every SUNY campus has come out with similar statements, so thank you. At this time, I would like to ask if there are any comments from the public. Actually, we have not received any comments from the public. So we will schedule the next meeting, and it will be on the webpage. So that's how you all find out about the date. And I would like to ask for, if there's any further business. If not, I'd like to ask for a motion to end the meeting.
So moved. It's Kristen.
Thank you, Kristen. Second?
Second, Ken Franklin.
Thank you, everyone. The meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.